What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Braven Men podcast. This is Buck Grant, and I have something to say. I was told once by one of my old instructors that martial arts without philosophy, without discipline, is merely street fighting. This concept has become even more and more true in the current days where police brutality has been a huge topic, and the overall way even normal human beings are handling stress. It has come to my attention that the world, including police officers, need martial arts more than ever. And notice that I said martial arts. I did not say combatives. I did not say self-defense. I specifically say martial arts for a reason. If we use the police officers as a perfect example, merely teaching police officers how to fight is not the answer to dealing with violence. There's something inherent in being in a martial arts culture. When you are in a studio, a dojo, or a training center, the interactions that you have with various different types of people, black, white, poor, rich, everything gets stripped away when you put on your gi, when you put on your tie shorts, and you come onto the mat, and you start to train with another body, another soul, another individual. Many aspects of one's ego get stripped away and get revealed as you start to train, particularly if you take arts like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai, where you come face to face with your ego on a day-to-day basis. You're being crushed by someone's body weight, you're being controlled, and at the same time, you have a teacher who hopefully is there to teach you a life lesson as a result of your ego or your identity being crushed. And more so than anything, that's what people need right now. I, for example, love things like yoga. I love combat sports. I use them both because they're two equal and opposite ends of the spectrum. Both of them lack in very big ways when it comes to real life application of one's philosophy. So modern day yoga has become very much exercise, and it has philosophy deeply interwoven into it, but that philosophy is not battle tested. So you may be on a mat and it still feel peace and stillness, but if you leave the mat and someone pushes you or jumps in your way, then that same stillness is hard for most people to hold on to. The other end of the spectrum is combat sports, where philosophy and tradition has been completely stripped away from the martial arts, and people have literally taken only what is useful, only the physical components of things that will actually allow you to hurt or render another individual incapable of fighting you. When you give someone that type of a weapon without giving them some understanding of what is right and what is wrong, if you do not build that into the training or into the practice, then you are arming potentially horrible people with very dangerous weapons. I see that as the equivalent of everyone wanting to carry a gun, but no one willing to do any training to be capable and competent in using it correctly. When I say martial arts is what the police and everyone in the world really needs right now, we need to be put in environments where we are used to feeling and experiencing force, not violence. Violence is the force with the intent of doing evil. Force is using your will to assert against something. We need more of our ideas and philosophy about force initiated. It needs to be cultivated as a part of our being. Many of us think that it's never going to happen to us, that we're never going to have any confrontation. And therefore, when we have confrontation, we have no way of dealing with it. We're not in the same state that we are when we're thinking about our philosophy versus when it's actually happening to us. On the martial arts floor, you get the opportunity to be put under stress, to be put under duress, to be pressured, and then your character is both revealed and exposed. And from that point, you have this opportunity to be born anew. And if you have a good teacher, the same pressure that you're feeling from the mat is something that you can apply into the real world. That needs to be trained like everything else. And when I said the character is also revealed, if more police officers were giving more stringent martial arts training, my opinion, and then from my own experience of knowing martial artists who train, their ability to escalate and de-escalate force, to see the gray in things rather than the black and the white, is far more refined than someone who has never fought, never trained. And most people don't understand this. They see martial arts as something that would only encourage violence, right? But if you are used to feeling a punch, if you're used to feeling so much pressure on you on a day-to-day basis, your friends are the people that are constantly punching you in the face and putting you under duress, then when a normal person comes up to you and is merely talking to you, or even if they're just pushing you, you know that you have the confidence to be able to walk away. You have the confidence to not have to take it all the way to the most extreme, which in some cases is killing people. You know that you have the capability to find that gray area. There's wonderful footage out there of a female police officer who actually, I believe, is a Pahiti Tertia martial artist, trains in the Filipino martial arts. And she has a protester in her face, yelling out of anger and looking very threatening. And yet this police officer, this woman, this Filipino woman, I believe, was very calm, very stoic. She was strong in her face, but she did not lash out. She did her job and her duty to protect and serve, and did not feel the need to lash out with this woman because she was confident in her ability to handle a situation, to escalate and de-escalate. Therefore, the way out of all of this is through. People need to be exposed to force. They need to be exposed to relatively what seems to be dangerous environments in a safe setting, to realize that we are fragile human beings, but we are not made out of glass, and that we are very capable of dealing with ourselves in high-stress situations. And if we had more police officers training, I think that there would be more of these police officers who would be selected out of the training or selected out of being police officers. They wouldn't make it through the training. Much like in a martial arts school, when a person is a poison to the school, they don't last very long in the culture. They end up selecting themselves out of it because they can't raise to the standard that is indicative of a true martial arts gym. And so I say that the world needs martial arts more than anything right now. It needs we need our beliefs to be initiated. If I believe myself to be a peaceful person that can control myself, I need the pressure in front of me to say, is this true in you or not? And then it needs to be trained. It needs to be exposed. It needs to be revealed. It needs to be cultivated. That is the way that we get out of this, in my opinion. And this is Buck Grant, always reminding you to be brave, to be bold, and to always choose courage.